savory it's had, it's the citywide special. Eagles training camp is underway. Who has impressed so far and who is disappointed? Should we expect any roster surprises? Could any moves from Howie be coming before the start of the season? Long-awaited Kelly Green jerseys are flying off the shelves. Can Mike Rubin's terrible company handle the high demand? The Phillies bounce back from an embarrassing series loss versus the Pirates to take the first 2 games against the Marlins. Starting pitcher Michael Lorenzen is acquired from the Detroit Tigers at the trade deadline. The Phils also pick up utility infielder Rodolfo Castro from the Pirates. Will the moves be enough to round out the team for a playoff run? In American news, the women's national team advanced to the knockout stage of the World Cup, but has the perennial juggernaut lost a step? With the team barely making it out of the group stage, are they still a threat to repeat as champions? All that and more coming up right now. How's it going, fellas?
Pretty good. Good to be back. Another beautiful Wednesday in Philadelphia. The weather's nice and breezy out. Had a pretty good weekend. Nice to hang out with you guys on Saturday. Go out as a podcast +1 with Hannah. Do a little South Philly bar tour. So that was fun. But feeling pretty good. Glad to be back.
Yeah, it is good to be back. It was good to get out on Saturday night. Had a little scare where I thought I tore my ACL throwing out of the pizza box.
Non-contact injury.
Yeah, felt a pop when my leg planted and moved in a weird way. But lo and behold, got full extension on that baby. We feeling good. Weather's starting to turn, starting to feel like fall out.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, I gotta ask y'all, what would you consider fall weather, right? Is it upper 60s, lower 70s? Lower 60s, upper 50s. Trevor, you remember Dave gave me a hard time about this years ago.
I think, to me, once it gets in the 70s, that's spring. I think fall's got to be, in the 60s, something like that.
So 66 degrees this morning, would you consider that fall weather?
Yeah, a little bit, I guess. I like to think of, because football always reminds me of fall, but anymore, you get 3 games in and it's still 80 degrees out,
True.
90 degrees out the game. So I feel like when it hits 70 and then goes down at night, I think once the nighttime hits the high 50s, now you're in fall.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about?
That's fair.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like mid 60s is fall to me, but
I feel like once you can wear a hoodie at night, then it kind of feels like fall.
Once you start to feel that it feels kind of cool out. It hasn't hit, it just feels good out because it's been so hot. But
true.
Today just feels beautiful. I could go out butt naked and just feel nice and cool. I love it because it's been so hot. But once you go outside, you're like, ooh, damn, this feels chilly. Now it's okay, now it's fall. But I don't know how to put that into temperature.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. We're not there yet, but that breeze feels good.
Beautiful today.
It doesn't smell like fall. I was walking down Snyder Avenue. It still smells like fish guts,
hot
piss,
shit, yeah.
and alcohol.
That hot piss summer smell.
Still has that South Philadelphia authentic summer stench, but that's enough talking about the smells. Trevor, we never ask you, how are you doing? You always ask us how it's going. How are you doing?
How am I doing? I'm not doing too bad. I had a failed attempt to bring my cat to the vet on Monday, so that kind of sucked. Had to cancel last minute because she was being an asshole and wouldn't get in the fucking carrier and was hiding, and I couldn't got to the point where I couldn't really do anything about it.
The cat in the carrier is a mission impossible task.
It's a real challenge. Yeah. I don't know how. If you're a cat owner out there who your cat just gets right in the carrier, you should consider yourself extremely lucky.
Can you trick her into getting in there?
Not well. I didn't really have any stuff available to me at the time because I didn't have any treats on hand. I was just out of everything.
Oh, damn.
I didn't have any wet food.
Damn.
So I was it was just really poor timing. So I don't know.
It sounds terrible.
I'll have to figure this out and try to reschedule.
No treats, no wet food.
Your vet's right down the street on Wolf, right? Can you put her on a leash?
I don't have. I've thought about getting her one of those little harness things and trying to leash train her. That would be cool. Because then I could just walk her around other places. So because the problem with the crate thing is that if you're only using it to take them to the vet, then that's what they associate it with. So they freak out as soon as they see it.
Fair, yeah.
But
you
if
gotta
it's
start thinking of some tailgates and shit
if it's
like
something,
that.
or I just got, it's got to start carrying around other fun places, I guess.
Dude, take her to the baseball game. Like,
Hell
when y'all were watching the Phillies game today, you seen the cat in the outfield? Yeah.
Cat, they have the dog at the park shit, too. I mean, you should be able to bring a cat.
Yo, when I was walking over, I had the radio broadcast on. They were talking about how the Phillies are playing the Nationals. And they're going to have Cather Day, where cats are allowed at the ballpark. Seems like an awful idea, but if they're leash trained, go for it.
There's no way that many go. It's
not
like dogs.
I feel like too many people are allergic to cats to do something like that.
That's what Kevin Stocker was saying. He's like, yeah, I'm not going to be anywhere near the
I mean, I guess at least
cats.
if you're outside, then you're not like trapped in an enclosed area with the dander or whatever. But
also, like, there's no way they get 50 people with cats that come. There's no
how many
way.
People, how many people? That's like a pain in the ass taking your cat places.
Yeah, leash training your cat just to go to that.
Just to go to the Phillies game.
I'd just be hard pressed to imagine there's like a group of people that petition the league to be like, we need a cat day if you have the dog
that's
day.
That's like the one thing about, like, I mean, in general, dogs are much harder to take care of, but that's the one thing that's definitely, the dogs get the edge. You got to take them somewhere, you put on the leash, jumps right in the car or whatever. Don't have to worry about any of that shit.
Yeah.
The cats know what's up. They're like, hold on now. Like, where are we going?
Yeah, I've
got it made in the shade
like
here. Like
places.
this. Yeah, what? I just want to nap, eat, and shit all day. Like, I'm cool.
Yeah.
But what's interesting, I won't be at that game.
It's fair. But anyway, figured we asked Trevor how he's doing, how Butchie's doing, and you got to figure that out, dude. Listeners, viewers, we can talk to the viewers now.
Damn.
Yeah,
viewers of the pod, if you got any advice for Trevor, hit us up.
Hit up that email.
Yeah, send an email at citywidepod@gmail.com with all of your cat advice. I'm all ears.
But yeah, well, let's get into it then. Phillies were up first? Their Eagles were up first.
It's two birds.
I have a quick football-related take I wanted to fire off before we really dive into the birds. Not birds-related, but football-related. I don't know if this is fucked up or if anyone else feels this way, but I'm kind of getting tired of all the DeMar Hamlin stuff. Is anyone else?
He had that because he had that first pick this
at
week,
practice, and it was going all over social media. It's like DeMar Hamlin got interception at practice. It's like, who cares?
Yeah,
that's what he's supposed to do.
He's playing now. He's got clear to go.
And it's that's great. And to be clear, I have absolutely nothing against DeMar Hamlin. Obviously, nothing. This is all just about the media frenzy about it. But I mean, have you seen the odds for comeback player of the year?
He's got to be the top one.
Yeah, I mean,
DeMar Hamlin,
it's got to be minus 10,000.
Well, it's not quite that bad, but it's minus 350. And then the second closest guy is Tua at plus 2,000.
Jesus.
So it's already, according to it, unless I don't know, unless he gets injured again and they can't. That would be a funny conundrum if they just really want to give it to this guy, but then I don't know, week 4. He tears an ACL or something. He's got to be out for the year. It's
dude,
don't think we can really give it to him now.
It could,
but it's
he got some awards and stuff like that. I couldn't tell you a couple highlights from before the tragic.
I mean, yeah, it seems like a great dude, but I wouldn't have known what his name was before.
Also, the highlight. I mean, listen, I am glad that he's back and he's healthy, and we all were part of that whole terrible saga, but even the pick at training camp, it wasn't even like he jumped in front of Stephon Diggs. It got tipped at the line, and he happened to just be standing there. I could have made that pick. It's not a.
It's also training camp.
They were he's back, baby. I'm I'm glad he's and it's the fact that he's alive was him being back. I'm good with that.
Yeah, and it's it was a very scary thing, but it wasn't like he had this injury that he had to rehab from and do all this stuff. He kind of just was in the hospital for a while.
I mean, they brought him back to life. He did die.
To be fair, yeah, he died.
But
I don't think
I'm just saying
it's not a scary thing.
Well, it was very scary.
It
was very scary. But I'm just saying the process of coming back from it doesn't seem like it was. It wasn't like an Alex Smith, where his leg almost had to get amputated and all that kind of stuff.
No, he almost died.
He did die. I mean,
he did die. I don't know.
But I mean,
I think you're kind of making light of this situation a little bit.
Well, okay, this is the real problem. It's all just about. This is the real problem. Is that the comeback player of the year award is basically just it's just NFL propaganda.
Yeah,
it might as well be called the Roger Goodell "Everything Is Fine" award.
Right.
Nobody be upset about anything.
It's true.
Award.
Yeah.
Because it's just turning some horrific story about how dangerous the NFL is into like a feel good story.
It's also
and
tough.
this poor guy who almost died is being used in a pawn in the NFL's PR campaigns. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't have nothing against him. It's all the just the hoopla. You know what it reminds me of actually is those like stories you see once in a while where it's like, this 9-year-old boy saved up enough money selling lemonade and mowing lawns to pay for his grandmother's chemo treatments or whatever.
Damn.
And everyone's like, oh, what a great story and stuff. And it's like, no, it's fucking terrible. That's like the most fucked up story I've ever heard. Why is it like this? This is awful.
I also feel like they picked the two probably worst candidates to give you a full season for that award. Like, you know what I mean? Like Tua, there's no way he lasts a full season.
Dude, he should have retired.
Right. And I want that award to go to the guy that, like, twisted his ankle last season, couldn't play, and has to come back. Or like, all right, I think he
should have
gone
to Brandon Graham last year.
Right. But anyway, we'll see how it shakes out. I mean, DeMar, obviously, if he stays healthy, will most likely get it. I mean, the story, it's like, what else can we give the guy? But hopefully he's also like a Pro Bowl player and like is actually really good. That would be exciting.
Yeah,
to
if
see.
he comes back and he's ass, it's just like he came back and he
He
sucked.
came back
Why
just
are you
to
gonna
get-
give him the award?
They brought him back to life just to get CTE. That'd be ass.
Oh my god. That'd also be really funny if he just wasn't good.
Yeah, with that.
He's just giving
Yo,
him-
I would
he's
support
just-
it if
he's
that
just
was
blowing-
the case.
He's
Right.
just blowing coverage left and right.
I would support it if that was the case, just because it would prove the point that the award is meaningless.
But the defensive coordinator's like, well, I'm not going to be the guy that benches him. Like, you made that call.
Yeah.
like, I'm not like...
It's like, the Flyers during the Flyers games, they have the what do they call it? It's like the tough play of the game. Or I forget what they call it. You know what I'm talking about?
Mhm.
It's like
I don't remember what
the fearless play of the
Okay,
game.
yeah.
And it's always just like a guy like taking a slap shot to the face or some shit like that. It's like, fuck yeah, what a fearless play. This
Yeah,
guy
just
just
taking a puck
getting
to the nuts.
getting some
Yeah.
guy's skate run over his neck. Like, oh man. But anyway,
Oh,
I just had to. I don't know. I just saw everything going off about that on Twitter yesterday, and it was like kind of pissing me
Dude.
off.
it felt like a good thing
had
to get off your
fire-
chest. Yeah.
If he has a really crazy interception in a game, okay,
It'll be a cool moment.
I'll
Yeah,
give him my
sure.
respect,
Right.
bro. It's training camp.
Right.
Yeah,
It's
we're
like-
talking about practice.
Yeah, exactly. We talking
About
about
pre-practice practice. It's
And-
like,
Not even. Yeah.
It was a tip ball at the line of scrimmage.
right.
When my thumb was broken or my pinky was broken, I could have caught that with one hand.
Mhm.
Like, come on now.
Derek Hall could have caught that.
Your boy.
But yeah, speaking of training camp, the birds look good. I mean, everybody came into camp looking pretty lean and mean. I love the fact that Jordan Davis looks almost 20 pounds thinner.
Yeah, you know what I thought was funny is he said he weighs the same. He just trimmed up, but then he was funny about it. He was like, yeah, face starting looking a little more skinnier, feeling good, feeling myself, feeling handsome.
Mhm.
Like, to be fair, like, his face did look a little thinner. I think part of that might be maturing. But
He looked real thin.
with Jordan Davis in particular, what I found interesting, it's like the beat writers and whatnot that I've been following been saying he's lining up in the 4-3 and like 4-man fronts next to Fletcher Cox.
Right.
Like, I thought he was going to be a nose tackle and a run stopper, but they're starting to get him in passing situations.
Well, now that they trimmed down all that weight too, I mean, the guy, Desai even said like he came in with a mentality that I love. Like Desai is an intense coordinator, and we all knew that coming in here. But the fact that Jordan Davis now isn't like that big plug, you just thought he'd be like a big run stopper, being a big body to like soak up offensive linemen. But if he can get some burst and some speed and some strength on that line too, paired with Fletcher Cox, and then, I mean, you name it, you put anyone else on the end of that with Hassan Reddick
Yeah,
or
any
Brandon
of our edge
Graham or
guys,
Carter. I mean, as an O-line, you can't double team anybody. I mean, I don't know what you do with that, but it's exciting to see. Like, I'm very jazzed up to see this team come out, especially in the Kelly Greens. Man,
Yeah.
That's gonna
Did
be-
you guys order any yet?
Nah, not yet.
I got mine.
What'd you get?
I got an AJ Brown. I wanted Reddick, but they were sold out of my size, so I was like, yeah, whatever. I don't really care that much. I'll just get one.
Pat, you got one?
Yeah,
I got my Bill Berge. I'm rocking with that.
True.
I'm good with him.
just staying.
Yeah, I've got Malcolm Jenkins for now. No Kelly Green, but that's an Eagle for life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I do
You know what?
eventually want to get a Devontae one just because Devontae was looking good in that Kelly Green.
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
The other
Real-
ones I have is a Connor Barwin and a Michael Bennett.
Connor Barwin, you can rock. He's still with the organization.
Yeah. I'll throw on the Bennett one once in a while. It's a cool number, like 77.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, dude, that jersey arrived at my door the day after they got eliminated from the playoffs, and he never played for the Eagles again.
Damn.
But whatever.
But yeah, training camp stuff. Who else is looking good? Oh, my guy, Nolan Smith.
Yeah.
Came in looking good.
Looking quick. He's gotten a sack every day or whatnot.
Yeah.
And his speed is remarkable.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the thing that we kind of expected, right, with the pads off, that he was going to look that good. He's quick, he's athletic, he's young, he's got the juice at his first training camp. The thing that excites me the most about him, man, is just his, media presence. They've shown some interviews of him, and he just loves the people, loves to talk. Just seems like an all-around good kid.
Happy guy. Reminds me of Brandon Graham that way, where he's always got a smile on his face. Just, happy to be playing football. Everyone loves to be here. I mean, a lot of I don't know if it was Nolan Smith, or if it was Jalen Carter. I think it was Jalen Carter, and he was like, one of the things that I heard coming in the league was that people were like, oh, well, some locker rooms you get into and no one teaches you anything, and the vets are kind of a dick to you here and there. He's like, here, you come in, if you miss something, bang, Brandon Graham's there, Fletcher Cox is there, someone's there to help you out to get better. No one's there to suppress you. He even mentioned Derek Barnett, which is he's a guy who really should be fearful of his job being taken right now.
Hold up, we got to talk about Derek Barnett.
Didn't they restructure
his deal? Yeah, they restructured his deal.
Yep.
So he's getting less money this year, but a higher guarantee. If that makes any sense. The contract, let me try to remember this correctly.
Some Howie magic.
Yeah, basically it's some Howie magic where Derek Barnett is essentially getting a guarantee for this year, but it's less overall money in the contract. There's more incentives if he plays and plays well. But I was under the impression he wasn't going to make the team. Now it seems like if they gave him guaranteed money, he's going to. Where do you think he fits in with, think of your edge rushers, Graham, Smith, Reddick, Sweat.
That's your starting four right there.
Yeah, I mean, that's your rotation. That's your four-man rotation.
Unless Barnett, they're going to stand him up. I mean, the thing is, too, with a new defensive coordinator, you don't know how they're going to rotate these guys. And Graham can play in, too. So Graham is kind of that flex tackle / end. He's not a true end.
And Smith might be able to play coverage a little bit.
Reddick is a coverage guy, too.
Yeah, so they can drop.
Reddick and Nolan Smith are guys that are flex outer to linebacker. You got Graham kind of outer to in. Where Derek Barnett, he's your only one of the only. Him and Sweat really are the only true, I guess, solid D ends. I don't trust that guy to cover anybody.
Oh hell no!
And I don't trust him to be a D end. I mean,
I don't trust him to not commit a penalty.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I was gonna say, yo,
he better not be your third down guy.
We got to take bets right now. What game is it that you think he commits his first stupid penalty? I'm gonna say the third game.
I'm going to say...
it depends on how much he's playing, I guess. I mean, if
he just needs 10 snaps per game to make a mistake,
if he was getting a good amount of snaps, it'd be the first one, but...
I'm going to say... Who do we play first? The Patriots?
Yes.
Yeah, probably them. It'll come down the third, fourth quarter. He'll get some more playing time. We'll be up by 25, and he'll
Who we play week 2?
Vikings.
Yeah, Kirk, our boy.
At home, Monday night or Thursday night football?
Thursday night, 2 days after my birthday.
Which is just like last year.
Yep. Last year was the Monday night.
Or the same night game, though. Yeah,
it's a night game. First home game.
They'll blow them out of the water again. I can't wait for that game. But yeah, I think that was an interesting move. Obviously, Howie, which then alludes to the fact that do they make any moves before the start of the season, regular season starts? And I think that, they mentioned that Howie was going to dip his toe into the safety market right now. And if you're restructuring guys, that shows that Derek Barnett is definitely out of here next year.
Right.
Give him a lot of guarantees and then give him some more incentives, but he'll never hit that because he doesn't really give you a full season anyway or that much production. So, if he's got to make 5 sacks, he ain't doing that. But safety, I could see them looking at Buda Baker keeps liking everything that we post and everything that
didn't they just sign him to they gave him a bunch of incentive on his contract.
Arizona
did? Yeah.
Oh, they did? I must have missed that.
They did something with his contract to give him incentives or money or something, but it sounds like he's staying put.
Okay.
Well then there goes that.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what the fuck they do. I don't know, but anyway, they don't do that at this time of the year if they're not going to make a move for someone, or they're making room to then be able to bring in a guy late in the year like a Ndamukong Suh or whoever else, which at this point you don't really need.
Do you think they're more likely to bring in a safety or a linebacker?
I would hope linebacker.
It's got to be linebacker.
Yeah, but I don't know who's really out there right now to bring in.
Yeah.
Guys will get cut. Patrick Queen. Is Patrick Queen, is he
He's
still on the block?
For, I think, Baltimore.
Okay, because, that was the guy I wanted.
He was on the bubble, then they brought in, then Lamar's deal got done, then they brought in OBJ. It's like, okay, they look halfway, somewhat decent, I guess, from a team perspective. But I don't really know. I mean, the defense, I think they could play today and be a top 5 defense again.
Mm-hmm.
Any additional piece would just be security for injuries or whatever else. But I feel good. The offense.
You feel good about linebacker with Nakobe Dean. Who else I got written down here?
Bunch of guys.
Ellis.
Christian Ellis and Nicholas Morrow.
The guy we got from the Bears.
And then Davion Taylor, I think, is still there.
He's still there from Colorado.
Sean Bradley from Temple Boy.
Yeah, I feel good because I think that it all hinges upon the fact that our corners, we have a top 3 cornerback duo. We have arguably the best defensive front, and all that does is help out every other layer of the defense. The quarterback won't have that much time to really worry about here and there. It might hurt us in the run game, which we saw that in the past.
We're going to not be able to cover any tight ends.
Detroit fucked us up. Week 1 against Stevenson coming up with the Patriots. That'll be a tough matchup because Bill Belichick right now, since he's lost Brady, hasn't really had a passing offense, but their run game is good and their defense is good, which is a true Bill Belichick team. But I think that, the linebackers will have to step it up, but I think they know that. They're not coming in. They're probably the least confident group of the defense on paper, and everybody knows it. I mean, it's not like a shock. You know that you lost your top guy going to the Bears. But, I think that they'll figure it out. They're all in the NFL, and our defense is stacked. You got great corners on the outside. You got a phenomenal front 4. Nakobe Dean could surprise a lot of people this year, too. He's small for his size, but there's a reason why they got him high, too. I mean, they got Jordan Davis and Nakobe Dean, and they got Jalen Carter and Nolan Smith. Like, I think that there's that continuity. Nakobe Dean is a smart guy. He's been learning a lot, too, this offseason, getting his mind right, getting his body right. He's ready to come in and make that next step, and he's quick. So, it's my most shakiness about the defense, but I feel like they'll be able to get their shit together before the season starts.
I don't know, man. Like, I kind of feel like Howie's going to recognize that linebacker is probably their weakest spot. He's going to make a move of some sort. I don't know who the hell's available. I don't know who gets cut that we might look at it and say, even though he got cut, let's try to bring this guy in. But
and I'm okay with that.
The Eagles don't have great luck with these guys. Think of Zach Brown. Remember him?
Mm-hmm.
Ass. What was it? I can't remember this other guy's name.
We haven't had
we haven't had good luck.
A
with
confident linebacker
yeah.
since we had Trotter, really. I mean, I'm not even counting Kendricks or Bradham. Like, they were decent plugs, but we haven't had, like...
Bradham was good.
We haven't had a floor general, though. I would say, arguably, Jordan Hicks. I miss Jordan Hicks.
No, Jordan Hicks was the bomb.
I love Jordan Hicks.
He was nice.
But we had Jordan Hicks and what's it called? D'Amico Ryans.
Yeah.
That, like, Simba and, like, they called each other or whatever, Mufasa and whatever. That was a great linebacker core. But since that got dismantled, we haven't really had a confident... That's always been our weakest link and our question mark has been our linebacking core.
Never been a priority.
No.
We won one Super Bowl and made it to another without prioritizing the position. It's kind of the running back of the defense.
Well, because the goal is you go up by 35 and then you figure they're going to have to pass on us, so...
Yeah, I mean, linebacker, like the position in general, it's just gotten devalued because, I guess to your point, if you're strong everywhere else, as long as you're average at linebacker, you're okay. My concern is I don't even know if the hell we're average, but...
It is a big question mark in that. But, I think that you're right. If there's no need to make a big jump for safety, but linebacker, I would feel more confident if we had that shirt up,
Yeah.
I just don't know who's out there.
Hell if I know.
Yeah, I don't know.
We got any other...
You think Jalen Hurts is going to make another jump? Sounds like... I mean, he's kind of just kind of flying under the radar now because we're just kind of expecting him to be great, but all accounts seem to indicate that he's been having a very good camp. Had that really nice deep ball to AJ Brown. I think maybe it was
like
yesterday
60 or 65 yards
Yeah.
on Tuesday, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like a very underrated part of his game that's getting better is the deep ball accuracy. So, yeah, I don't know. I think that it's not inconceivable that he takes another big step. And I don't know. How much better can he get? Like, honestly,
I think there's a few places he can get better. Deep ball accuracy and I will say just accuracy in general is certainly something that, we saw it in the Super Bowl. Like, some of those dimes he was dropping were spectacular, but he just needs to make sure that that's consistent. Like, that's certainly something he can work towards, consistency there. I think for me, the biggest thing, we kind of saw this towards the end of last year, is his throwing on the run. Not so much that he can't do it, but when Hurts puts his head down, decides he's going to run, he doesn't look up. Just runs. And that works, right? He's getting first downs. But what I would like for him to do, a few people have mentioned this, is kind of the Aaron Rodgers or the Russell Wilson, where, you're running, you're outside the pocket, you can pick up 10 yards for a first down, but you've got the defense in scramble mode, your wide receivers are in scramble drill. Dude, look up and see, defense is focused on me, Devontae's running down the seam, let me just throw this bomb. I feel like that's kind of been the area that he's lacked. You saw it in the championship game against the Niners, the Devontae Smith catch. That probably wasn't a catch. But it
was a catch.
It was. It was. As far as we're
counted.
concerned, as Philadelphia fans on
That
the Philadelphia
stadium was
pod.
definitely on the catch. Yeah.
But you saw some of it last year, but I think that he's got to learn to do more of that, because defenses are going to be focused this year especially on making sure they take away those first downs. So what's he do? Throw it over the top. I think that's probably the biggest area of improvement, in my opinion.
I think you touched on it. I think that it's consistency for me. I think that last year was, the big jump for him. Arguably the league's MVP, second, runner-up for that. Made it to the Super Bowl. Honestly, outplayed Pat Mahomes. He didn't lose that game because Pat Mahomes outplayed him. He had the greatest statistical performance in the Super Bowl that any quarterback ever had. So, you can't really top that against a budding dynasty. Andy Reid, they've been there before. That defense, whatever may have you. But I think the biggest leap he can do isn't necessarily a statistical leap, but a mentality. Like you said, consistency. Can he do it again? If he can repeat what he did last year with that same mentality, that same, you talk about the long ball. I think he ranked in the top 3 in 20 plus yards.
Great.
Yeah, he was. He did that. Run on the fly, sure. He had the rushing touchdowns, can run, didn't take big hits, which I loved. He found a way to get out of bounds or slide or just really just
Other
evade
than that
tacklers.
Bears game.
Well, yeah, that was a tough, but they were playing tough. They're a decent defense
It was
too.
1 degree that day. Yeah.
But I think that's if he stays consistent that way, if he can run and read the defense now, he'll learn from that. Last year, I'm fine with him being okay, I'm just going to go for that 10 yards, get the first down, and run out of bounds. I'm fine with that because we saw that with Carson Wentz where, sometimes you make that bomb to Aguilar and it works great and it's oh my God, we just did it. But then other times you throw it and you think someone's there and then you get hit or you fumble the ball or you don't, I don't know, then you're overthinking, should I run, should I throw, should I run, should I throw? So if he remains consistent on what he accomplished last year, and just tweaks and fine-tunes some other things, not necessarily a leap, I think he'll be an MVP and take us right back to the promised land.
You got anything else on the Birds, or is that just about wrapping up?
Let me see. Do we want to talk about quarterback a little bit more?
I did finish it up last night.
I finished it too. Pat, you had already finished it, right?
Yeah. I finished it up.
Very painful to I could barely even really pay attention to the nuances of the documentary and stuff. I'm just reliving that game, just being I can't believe we fucking lost this game. Could not believe we lost this game.
Yeah,
especially after he got hurt at the one point, and it's God damn it.
Yeah, I can remember when he got hurt in our house. I was man, everyone's oh my God. I was honestly. Because it wasn't a career-ending injury, obviously, you know what I mean? So I wasn't oh, I hope he's okay. I was definitely more on the, fuck this guy, let's go. This is our game now. We're up by 10. Pat Mahomes is limping around wow, this is a crucial swinging the tide here, and then you watch the rest of the documentary, and Pat Mahomes is that guy, but Kermit the Frog did his thing, and part of that episode, it was great ending. Kirk Cousins doing his little thing, and
Kirk Cousins singing the Kelly Clarkson.
Oh my God, that was so funny. That was hilarious, man. And then she's like, I didn't know you could sing like that.
Man, also, fuck Kelly Clarkson, too, because she did that whole thing with the Cowboys thing. Yeah, fuck her. Yeah.
Boo.
But yeah, quarterback, like, overall, I think I mentioned to y'all on Saturday night, we were hanging out. I mentioned this to the barber. Me and my barber were talking Saturday. I'm like, it was better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be, like, this real corny, just, like, really just, like, over-documented, just nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, the football guy and me kind of enjoyed, like, the football guy content, the play calling, like, the day-to-day grind during the season.
The P's and Q's,
And then, like, there's the realness of, like, Mariota, like, having a kid, like, mid-season. Mahomes had a kid, too, but who cares?
At the very end, when Mariota gets to, finds out that he's going to Philly or whatever. And
on the beach.
Like, I kind of wish I would stay on the West Coast, but...
they're like, that's far.
Cool, but...
He's like,
he, by the way, has apparently been ass so far.
Yeah, he has not been good.
So,
you
better hope Hurt stays healthy.
He's been ass, but everything I've heard that's been bad is because he's played against Dolan Smith and Jalen Carter. They have them playing on the second team defense.
The second unit or
second team, yeah. And that second team O-line's like, we gotta stop. Like, we can't handle this shit. Like,
that's a good point.
Getting owned.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
It's brutal.
Yeah,
my God.
Apparently Tanner McKee looks pretty good. He might be our second string quarterback. Could you imagine? Is Mariota on a guaranteed deal? He probably is.
I don't know.
At least some partial guarantees.
I don't think they're going to demote him like that, but...
I mean, if Jalen Hurts goes down for any extended amount of time, we're kind of fucked either way. So,
yeah.
I mean...
Foles is out
there
somewhere floating around. Well, Carson Wentz is out there, too.
Oh,
yeah,
God, no, man.
I'm kidding. I bring in Matt Ryan.
Going to be playing for the Argonauts or whatever.
What about... Where'd Minshew end up?
He's with the Colts. He's like the healthiest.
Oh, go figure.
He's the, I think, what is it? On the whole team, I think he's the longest tenured NFL player on the whole team.
Colts team? Yeah. He's like a 4-year vet.
That's not that surprising. You heard shit about Jonathan Taylor?
Oh, my God. That owner is a fucking scumbag.
Yeah, Jim Irsay's the new Dan Snyder.
That was terrible.
Yeah.
Jonathan Taylor's like, I want to get traded out of here. He's like, well, if we both die today, no one cares who you are anyway. I was like, what the...
And then he starts making up that he's injured. And like,
oh, my God, yeah.
He's like, I never reported back pain. I'm totally fine. Now my fantasy's all fucked up because I'm like, is this guy going to play? Is he all right? Is he good to go? He's not going to play with his heart.
Yeah, a lot of question marks.
But yeah...
he might end up on the fucking Chiefs.
I've seen something saying he was going to end up on the Bears, which would be good for them.
Interesting.
And which would make me look good for saying the Bears are going to be good, but I don't know. I don't know how that happens. I just saw something on Twitter. Someone was talking some nonsense.
I mean, if I'm him, you're at the Colts, I'd be going to someplace that's at least a contender or good. I mean, especially with the way the running back market is now.
The Bears could contend. You keep telling me the Bears are going to be butt.
I didn't say they were going to be butt.
I think the Bears could very easily win that division. The Vikings are frauds. The Lions had some ridiculous, dumbass draft.
I said
the
they could be a surprise
Packers are Aaron
team.
Rodgers-less.
I mean, yeah.
I'm bearing down, dude.
Okay.
Bear down, baby.
Listen, the Bears will be all right. I'm not knocking that. But I don't think that they're going to be like a contender. They'll be good. I think they'll be,
I think they contend for a playoff spot. They could be
sneaky good.
I mean,
Fields did start to look really fucking good towards the second half of the season last year.
Yeah, mostly as a runner, but maybe he takes
about a quarterback who needs to make a leap. He needs to make a leap. Can he throw the ball? Can he read defenses? Can he not rely on the run? I mean,
pressure's on him too because they traded their first overall pick to keep him.
Mm-hmm.
So
which DJ Moore should really elevate that offense.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah.
And Darryl Mooney should take the pressure off him. He's a really
they got him some O-line help too. He should be better in theory.
They got Cole Kmet too, a good tight end.
Yeah,
he'll be all right. You know, we'll see. Meanwhile, Detroit traded away DeAndre Swift and then drafted a DeAndre Swift, like
at 12.
Yeah,
that was
Jahmyr Gibbs is literally the same exact running back that you just got rid of, who's you only had for what, a year, 2 years, if that.
Whatever, man.
But, yeah, damn.
Dan Campbell's like, I just want you to know to just trust me. I love you guys. And that's it.
He starts crying in front of him.
Yeah, that's literally it.
I love you, man.
Yeah.
I love coaching you guys.
I heard he wanted to bring a real line onto the sideline for training camp. And they were like, no. Why would you think this would be a good idea? Like, what?
That's a real football guy move, man.
Just bust out the line in training camp, let it loose, like, only the strong survive.
Like, Atlanta Falcons.
This is how we decide how we make our cuts. If you can not get killed by this lion, you're on the team.
Yeah, everybody running 40, but this guy's chasing you. It's like, what the fuck?
Oh, man. Dan Campbell's a true football guy, but
yeah, definitely the quintessential football guy.
Oh yeah,
in all the best and worst ways. And then of course at the end of quarterback, the last episode, they go back to now the finished.
Oh yeah,
Mahomes mansion where he's got the fucking fish.
God.
Like, oh, we're naming it Nemo.
It's like, miss me with that.
It's like, dude, they're the corniest people.
They really are.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry. Can't take anything away from the dude as a quarterback. He's possibly the best quarterback that's ever played the game, but super, super corny guy. Real cornball.
Hate his wife.
Yeah, I lost a lot of respect for him.
Oh, man, yeah. Just
the dad's cool.
Oh, the dad's the man,
but
dude.
Anything involved with like his now little family is.
Did you see the shit about
the brother?
His brother. Well, today it was revealed at the restaurant where he like groped that waitress or whatever,
molested,
and then like apparently they've had to close.
Oh, I saw that the other day.
So much negative, whatever.
Damn.
So meanwhile, he's just living his life.
Kind of a black mark on the Mahomes legacy. I guess you can't blame him for having a stupid ass brother, but
yeah,
still, I guess it's more of a comment on Chiefs fans. Though, I mean, I don't know. That would probably happen in a lot of fan bases.
Yeah, it probably happened here, if we're being honest.
I mean, they have had between now Mahomes' brother and then that weird the Jack Rabbit mascot guy that used to rob banks and shit.
Yeah, he was a bank robber.
Yeah.
Yeah, what the fuck's going on with those guys?
They're like
There's something in the water out there, dude.
Meth. Yeah, it's called meth. That's what it is.
Yeah.
That guy.
Damn.
Yeah, they're like, wow, where's our crazy ass mascot? Thumper or whatever. They're like, oh, he got arrested. He's like FBI's like top 15 most wanted for a minute because he was like robbing all these banks and shit, and then go to the game like that same week. Wild.
Yeah, that's a franchise that's unlike the former like Redskins, they're never going to change their name or anything because I think people will just go too insane and society will just collapse in the whole state.
Yeah, we're talking Missouri, man. Those people, Kansas City, Missouri.
Yeah.
Oh,
barbecue and crack. But I did want to ask you guys though, since the Eagles do play on Christmas Day, how do we think will Santa show up? And B,
that's a good point.
Will batteries be, are we over the whole batteries and Santa? Are we going to make good? Are we going to just do it?
We won't say
Are we going to
anything.
do it just to do it? Like,
I feel like there should be I feel like that should be a because I've always felt that it's so like ridiculous that people always bring up the throwing snowballs.
It happened in the 60s.
Well, yeah, that. But I've always
Greenback though.
I've always felt that it should just be leaned into instead of people, trying to refute this like bad reputation we have. Like it should just be like, fuck yeah, we threw snowballs to Santa Claus.
Mm-hmm.
Why wouldn't you throw that's because we're real fans and throw snowballs at fucking Santa Claus. I think it would be a cool thing to have like a every year have a ceremonial throwing snowballs at Santa Claus. Where they just like have a Santa Claus come out at halftime and just have a bunch of like prepared snowballs and just have like a bunch of like kids or something just throw snowballs at him or something.
We gotta hope that it snows, which it hasn't done in a while.
It never snows here anymore anyway.
You could just make snowballs, artificial snowballs.
Or just bring batteries.
Yeah, just bring batteries. Yeah.
Yeah, well that's like if you're really doing it, you gotta bring the batteries.
Or hot dogs.
Yeah, you gotta bring the like a big like those big what are like the really big
batteries?
Big, like the big guys, and then surround that, put that inside the snowball.
Put it in your freezer.
So you got the snowballs, but they got some weight in them,
The thing is too is that like you work for the costume company, then they're like, all right, Charlie, like you're working Christmas Day at the Link. They're like, all right, cool. What am I? They're like, you're Santa Claus. Are you going out that day? You calling out sick? Are you going onto the field? Like, damn, I don't have to do this shit again.
I guarantee you, at least 1/10 of the fans, or maybe not 1/10, 1/20th of the fans at the game will be wearing a Santa costume.
Big time. But if it snows,
gonna be
I
wild.
really hope that they do throw snowballs at Santa Claus. That would be amazing.
Yeah, I mean, if it ever snows, it's definitely not that early in the year anymore. It's got to
It
be
never snows,
February or
period.
something. Like,
It doesn't snow at all. Well, it
Yeah.
snowed last. It got like slushy out though. It didn't really like snow.
Man,
yeah, I haven't had a
that
big
don't count.
snowstorm in a while. I mean, what year was that when we actually had a big one, a big blizzard? And we
Like
tried
20
to help that person with their car.
2016, 2017.
Yeah,
That was a long time
That
ago.
was a while ago. Yeah, not anymore.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, climate change, baby.
man.
Well, no, okay, okay.
Is that about it though for birds for football?
Yeah, I think
Well,
plenty
we
of
can
time.
talk a little Phils, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that
Are they? What yeah,
they
check the score.
probably
What
pulled that one out. If I had to
Yeah, I
guess,
feel like that game's got to be close to over by now. Are we talking 3 in a row?
They
they
gave back
bottom of the 8th, 5-2.
Dean at
Okay.
8:45. Phillies finally get a lead. Immediately give back half of it.
A little
Jeez.
less than half.
Almost half.
You can't score 2.5 runs, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
What inning is it?
the 8th.
It's the bottom of the 8th,
Okay.
We got it.
so they're up right now. I guess
Should
Yeah.
be all right.
We
3
should
in a
be-
row, baby.
We should be decent. Yeah, I'm gonna say that we.
Yeah, I
Won that
feel like
game.
in that series against the Pirates, probably the most disgusting
Dude,
series
that
they played
game
all
on
year.
Sunday,
That Sunday game was horrific.
ugh,
Brutal.
Horrific.
Brutal,
I was in pain.
like
Thought
you're
I
watching
tore
a
my
Little League
ACL.
brutal.
Screaming on the
Yeah.
couch.
That sucked.
I was furious, dude.
Plus, they had gone up. Or were they down the whole game?
No,
they were
They were ahead at one point.
they were up 2-0,
Yeah.
and then Sir Anthony came in, gave up a 2-run home run. And yeah, then it just
They-
kept falling
I
apart.
think they
from
went
there.
back up 5-2 or something like that, and then I don't remember.
Some
Which-
really unforced
doesn't
errors.
Which I will take that
fielding
though, because
mistakes.
honestly, going into this stretch of games, I figured like we would hopefully sweep the Pirates and then most likely give up all the games to the Marlins as we usually do when we play the Marlins. But I'll take the
Yeah.
weird.
all I wanted was a
backwards
series
fucking
win.
flip.
Just win 2 out of 3. If you're a contending team, you should be winning series against.
Well, if they
bad
didn't act like
teams
they won
that.
the fucking World Series after the first win, like we would have been okay. But like you walked off against the Pirates, we don't have to be chasing guys out to fucking right field, celebrating, popping champagne bottles and stuff like that. Like you won a game, you're still 10.5 games behind first place in your division. Like you didn't do anything yet. Like relax. You're literally in a day-to-day battle within a wild card spot as the defending, National League champs or whatever. Like settle down. You beat the Pirates, big deal. You know what I mean? Get back
Oh, you mean
together.
the one game that they won?
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Like, no wonder they lost the next game. Like, hello. Can't be doing that
Yeah,
shit to a team.
ugh.
Yeah.
That game Sunday, just so many just unforced errors. What do you call
Like
it?
a pop up.
Yeah,
they
the pop up.
missed.
Oh my, ugh. Or so many just at bats that they just gave away. Like,
I mean,
Think-
that's been the name of the game the
Oh,
last
man.
couple of weeks, to be honest with you. They're not consistent at all, especially with the bat.
yeah,
Nobody's hitting like that.
yeah. I guess one of my big questions right now.
If I was at that game, I would have do something like this.
Oh man.
damn,
That's
dude,
why-
good luck with that.
Yeah.
I just wanted to get one in.
You wouldn't make it across the Allegheny River.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
They'd be coming after your ass in Pittsburgh. You'd have to hide in a coal mine somewhere.
Damn.
But now, one of my questions with this team, right,
Sorry.
is like, does the offense ever wake up?
Yeah, I
they
mean,
not
haven't
as a
really
whole.
shown any indication it's going to happen.
I mean, I guess the one thing that gives me a little bit of not panicking is the fact that they've just been so bad at batting with runners in scoring position, and that's something that you would think would just kind of normalize after a while. Hopefully it does, but I mean, they are getting a lot of base runners. It's just I feel like they just had abysmal luck with not being able to knock guys in when they have guys on, but I don't know. I mean, I guess that's one thing that maybe could start to regress to the mean or whatever the stat guys say. I don't know.
The lack of hits in meaningful moments, it's kind of getting concerning. I'm not gonna lie. Like,
Yeah.
I get it. People want to get into a slump, and I get that's fine. It's baseball. You play fucking, a million games. You're not gonna be going crazy every night. And I totally understand that. However, Trea Turner couldn't hit fucking anything. He swings at everything.
He couldn't hit the side of a barn right
hit
now.
Shit.
Good Lord.
But, like, I'm not asking you to hit a home run every game, but hit a meaningful ball. You're talking middle of the game. You got a man on second, no outs. It's low pressure. Let's get a little blooper in here, get an RBI. Nothing.
Yeah,
he strikes out. He's swinging for the fences. Like, I don't need you to be the hero here. Just get yourself out of the slump. Focus. I don't know what you got to do to get out of your head. They're moving him back down the lineup. My man's all fucked up. There's no way he's not coming back. Now, once they put him at that 7 spot, I was like, he's done. You're not going to see. That's not going to help that guy at all. He needs to go. Honestly, he should spend some time in either AAA or just not playing for a little bit.
They won't send him in AAA.
Well, you can't send. Yeah.
Well, all I'm saying is he needs.
I think moving him to 7th was probably maybe not the best thing for him, but it was something that was necessary for the team. Like, you can't just keep batting the guy 7th or 2nd that's giving you nothing. Like,
and it's not like Schwarber, or at least Schwarber, say all you want.
He walks a ton.
He gets on base,
yeah,
and he gets your runs. I mean, he strikes out a shit ton, which is whatever. But like when he does make contact, that shit's usually going yard, or he's getting walked, and I'm cool with that. So like that's fine. He's
a strange leadoff hitter, but
he's earned that spot though.
Whatever.
He's earned that right. Where Trea Turner with that price tag, my man hasn't done shit, and then it's like affecting his fielding. He's not fielding right.
Oh yeah, he had a couple errors like over the last few days. Last weekend. I'm sorry, he had a couple errors. And like when it starts leaking into like his play on the field, his play at the plate, just talking with umps, just his vibes in the clubhouse. It's like, you got to do something.
His whole demeanor is just off.
Yeah, he just looks very like. I don't remember the last time I seen him look happy.
No.
I'm like, I get it. He's probably
World Baseball Classic.
He's not an emotional guy, but like
he doesn't look because he's playing like shit, and the fans will let him hear it, and he's not used to like the whole blasé LA crowd, I guess, of baseball. But like it's across the whole top of the lineup. I mean, now Harper his average is floating around 280. On bases around 300.
Like now you're going to start saying he needs to hit for more power after last week.
No. I'm saying he at least pulled it. Like he does his job. He at least makes meaningful hits in moments that at least help out the team.
Tuesday night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Double.
Great to set up Castellanos. Like that was huge.
Yeah.
So he does what he needs to do. JT, another one. I don't know what his deal is. He's
just playing too much, man.
Yeah, hopefully
it's
this
good. I'm glad
that skin rip may have been a blessing in disguise.
I'm glad he got a few days off.
For
He's been playing
days.
so damn much. You realize Garrett Stubbs, at least before I think it was today's game, had played 16 games all year.
That's bad.
Most backup catchers are playing 25 to 30 by now.
True. Well, maybe he was doing a big push. Either way, all I'm saying is that if he comes back. Hopefully he got the rest he needed, but if they could do something like that to Trea Turner, that'd be ideal. Give him some time off away. You got a pretty easy schedule still, but we'll see. I don't feel they're stringing wins
next.
They're stringing wins together. They're just not really doing it in the most pretty way. Yeah, they're getting lucky. I mean, today they got that big rally because the pitcher literally walked 4 guys in 1 inning and hit somebody.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, what I would love to see is just for them to hit some home runs with guys on base.
Yeah.
Castellanos hit the one, it was a 2-run homer. Where are the 3-run homers? Where are the grand slams? That's how you blow teams out. That's how you really start to make us feel like this team's onto something.
On a night-to-night basis.
You know what I mean?
You had the bases loaded 2 times. Once was loaded, they hit the guy. All right, fine. Someone comes in, load it again. You got Schwarber up here. Granted, he could have. He got the green light. It was 3-0. You got to go for it. But damn, we got an opportunity here to really knock some runs in. And who does it but Alec Baum, the guy that's really been the guy coming in clutch. Between Baum and Stott, Marsh, all these young guys coming
Even
up.
Rojas.
Rojas is doing well. Sosa, people are doing pretty well. But the guys that you're paying the big bucks for, just I don't know. They're just in a weird. I'm not even gonna call it a slump. They just. Look
just
out
a
of
weird
it.
season.
Yeah, that's all. I don't know.
What I thought was interesting was that obviously we know that they traded for Michael Lorenzen, who I like. That dude's yoked. He can hit a little bit.
Did you see his weird workout video that was going around?
He's brolic, dude.
Yeah.
He's
he's jacked. But he can also hit.
Yeah.
But
Which
they
not
aren't
as much of a big deal anymore, but
Yeah, he's no
something he
Shohei.
can do, I
No,
guess.
he's pretty much like Otani, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, we
We
basically
got Otani light.
Yeah.
we basically got Shohei Ohtani.
Right.
But
Yeah.
the point I was going to make is they went for him, like more pitching. And then this guy that got caught with the cell phone in his pocket.
Oh, yeah.
He basically pulled a Ben
Yep.
Simmons in a real game.
Suspended for a game for that shit.
Good. You can't be running the bases with your phone in your pocket. What are you doing? Taking a selfie on second base?
Well, it's like leaving the house, phone, wallet, keys. Maybe he just forgot to like not, take it out.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
has the routine down.
but yeah, what I thought was interesting is that after those moves, Dombrowski like kind of spoke and said, "Yeah, we have faith in the guys in here that they're going to produce. They need to produce." He kind of called them out indirectly, saying like,
Yeah.
I wish
Go
they.
ahead.
"No, you're
Oh,
good."
yeah.
I was
No, but
pretty
I was
much
just
done.
saying, like, I mean, because I know a lot of people really wanted him to get another outfield bat, and that would have been nice. But at the same time, if guys like, if your main guys like Harper, Schwarber, Castellanos, Turner, like if they're not going to start hitting, then we're fucked out of the way. Like getting like another outfield bat is not going to save this team if your big guys are not producing. So. And I think the pitching is good enough that if those guys do start producing, then we're going to be fine and could potentially make another deep playoff run. But yeah, I mean, you need your former MVP, your quote best shortstop in baseball,
best catcher in baseball.
Best catcher in
Yeah.
baseball. You need those guys to start hitting, or else this is doesn't matter either way.
It will be a very historic fall in the face. It'd be like the Dream Team when the Eagles had that loaded roster and they labeled them the Dream Team. Like, if you can't make a deep playoff run with this team, that is a very pathetic end of season, in my opinion. And I don't care. Like, you got, you just rattled it off. We did label these guys, former MVP, best catcher in baseball, best shortstop in baseball, Schwarbaum, Castellanos is an all-star. I mean, I don't know what else you need. You got. It doesn't make any sense to me that they couldn't do that.
I hear you that it would be pretty pathetic.
It would be.
It won't be the biggest disappointment in baseball ever. The Mets have already kind of taken the cake for that this year.
Well,
You
yeah.
know what I'm
Biggest
saying?
payroll ever,
Damn.
and they're sellers. That is kind of the funniest thing ever.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Verlander
Regardless
went
of
back.
what happens with the Phillies this year, we can take solace in the fact that the Mets spent like $450, like $500 million, and they had to sell.
The cool part is too about that is now that in that division that they sent Verlander and Scherzer back to, the Rangers and the Astros are tied for first place.
That's wild. Yeah.
Which is kind of funny because they'll be playing each other. I don't know, the next week or so, and they'll most likely be facing off against each other, which would be pretty
That's
cool to
crazy.
see, But Verlander, the owner of the Astros, was like, yeah, they pretty much ate his whole contract. So
I mean,
we didn't want to pay him.
They're good for
They
it.
paid him. They took the contract. We just got him back for free. Like, we didn't want him to go last year, but we weren't going to pay him that much. The Mets
It
paid his
worked out
ass.
for them.
It worked out for
Yeah,
them,
they
man.
got him back just in time for the postseason.
This is all karma for the Mets doing that in spring training when they practice celebrating winning the World Series. You remember that?
No.
What?
It was like during spring training, they were just like kind of for fun. We're like practicing
What?
yeah, dude. They were like practicing like
huddle?
being like, yeah, we won, and yeah, exactly, doing all that shit.
It all started when Edwin Diaz
That's-
got hurt.
Yep.
Yeah, it's
Blew
all
out
because
his leg.
of the World Baseball Classic. Those, yeah, like we were saying before, these guys are all Rays. Actually, World Baseball Classic was a huge conspiracy against the Mets.
Fuck the
screw
Mets.
them. Yeah, I don't know. Got any other baseball stuff? Does that about cover it?
Nah, I think that just about does it. I like the Lorenzen move. Think that he'll give him some pitching depth.
Yeah, he was an all-star this year. He's been good. Hasn't been like all-star.
like
I mean, I think
Cy
it was the first all-star game he made, and it was on the shitty Detroit Tigers. So I guess that was maybe
Yeah,
their.
we'll
Yeah,
take that.
every
Their
team
one-
needs to have an all-star.
There was
and
their guy,
was
but he
their
has been
all-star.
good. He has been solid this year.
Yeah.
I mean, he thinks he could be and especially we're obviously if we get into the playoffs are going to be a wild card team, so that means like you want to have more
Bullpen
starting
games,
pitching
yeah.
depth, and
Yep.
because
You want to have a strong pen.
you might not be able to start your number one starter in the division round if you get through, and you need that depth. So, yeah.
Yeah, I like it. I think that the fact that he's versatile, you can slide him in the bullpen if you need it, is good. Some of these guys Like Kimbrel's thrown the most innings, or he's
Yep.
going to end up throwing the most innings he's thrown in like 7 years or something. Soto, Strom, they've thrown a lot of innings. Who's the other guy I'm thinking? Oh, Alvarado and Dominguez can't really stay healthy. So yeah, I mean, worst case scenario, you can slide Lorenzen, you can slide Chris Sanchez into the bullpen for a week or two to just kind of give those guys a break. Pitching wasn't, you know what I'm saying, like the Phillies' biggest need, but it was kind of a sneaky need that, I don't know, we never really talked about.
I mean, because I feel like that's been the name of the game of the whole season, that we've been waiting to see like what the bats do. Thinking like, we won't need the pitching, but it's like, okay, like we had that for 3 or 4 months, they were doing great, the pitching, the bullpen, but now they're kind of hitting that, like you said, that game count, so they can catch up with some of these guys where they're getting a little sloppy, not playing super great. Even Walker, I mean, he didn't have the best showing either the other day, but, you know, we're getting late part of the season.
Dog days.
Good pickup.
Yeah. But, all right, yeah, I mean, that's all I got here in my notes.
Yeah, I guess we can talk briefly, but I mean, I haven't really been watching too intently the women's
We
World
watched
Cup.
the end of that last
Watched
game.
the end of the Netherlands game.
I did not watch,
like the second half, I guess. They tie against them, and then I definitely did not watch the 3 a.m. game.
Oh, you didn't wake up for that? I was going to ask if y'all did.
No. I had to go to the office
like,
that day. I was like, I can't do that shit.
Yeah.
Thank God I didn't, because there wasn't like a...
Maybe if it was on a weekend, maybe, but not, not if I have work. That's not happening.
Gotcha.
So they draw against Portugal. Apparently, if you look at like the advanced stats and like the expected goals, they edged them out pretty well. And just so I don't know if they were just a little bit unlucky, but it definitely seems like this team has kind of lost a step. There's like some new players, new coach.
Some players are getting older.
Players are getting older. Yeah, it's just kind of is what it is. Some of these other countries are starting to put more resources into the women's game. I mean, that was kind of the big advantage that the U.S. had for a while, is that most of these countries that are big soccer countries, just like, to be honest, just didn't really give a shit about women's soccer and just didn't put the resources into, you know, developing players and all this stuff. And the U.S. did, and that's what gave us such a huge advantage. And that gap's kind of starting to close, and it's definitely a little more competitive. I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens, but it was not an inspiring group stage for them, that's for sure.
No, I was kind of surprised to wake up and, like, I started following it on Twitter before I checked the score of the game, like, just catching up on my tweets from the night before, saying, like, oh, it's so close, this one hit the post. And then I saw a meme that's, like, U.S. players, when they saw that, hit the goalpost, and it was, like, them biting their nails or whatever. Yeah. And just like, ugh,
in the 92nd minute.
It's not great that they came to that. And then,
did you see Carly Lloyd was pissed off at them celebrating or whatever?
Rightfully so.
No, I did not see that. Philly girl, dude.
Yeah,
pretty much anyway.
So they had a draw against Portugal, which was enough to get them past the group stage, which, like, I get it. Like, you made it to the next round. Yeah. That's, like, something. But it's like,
don't celebrate for a draw.
Yeah, you're supposed to be, one of the favorites in the tournament, and you kind of squeaked by the group stage, drawing 2 of the games. It's not really like
good for her. She should be upset.
Yeah.
The coach defended them. They were like, "Well,
Carly Lloyd said the player of the game was the post for the U.S.
She ain't wrong, dude.
They should they got to put her on WIP.
Damn, they should.
She's from Jersey. She'll be on there. Yeah.
Yeah, she's got to be on WIP. Just talking shit.
I think that also, though, like,
she'll be the new Angelo.
I think that I'm not super concerned, though, with the team. I think that, we're not coming in as hot as we did the last couple of years. But, with the World Cup, it's an 8-year run you're doing right there. Like, it's not necessarily like, oh, you just won the Super Bowl.
I get it, yeah.
Back. Like, it's a lot. You're losing players. They're definitely getting older.
Players get old, right.
Yeah.
But, I was surprised when they played the Netherlands. We were there for that, and they had that, they tied it up. But there were a couple tries that they had where they could have probably got a couple more goals in that game. So they have that life in them. I think they might have, Portugal game was tough for sure. I don't think the team was that good looking at the highlights and all that. But they just looked lazy to me, the U.S. women's team at that game. But I'd have to believe that when they go into the knockout round, you'll see more Rapinoe. I know she's getting older, but I think they were saving some other players here and there. But I think they'll get it together. I don't know if they're going to make that big run that they've done the last 2 years, but winning it 3 times in a row, I feel like not easy. It would be a hard task to ask anybody, especially with the budding, kind of a hodgepodge of people.
Yeah.
Pew, couple people, were getting too old, so they couldn't play. A couple of the people that have won it the last 2 years, whatever the last one, who's young, Pew, she got hurt in training camp, tore her ACL. So there's people that have had to step up, that this is their first World Cup, and it's definitely, you're seeing that. But I will say Rodman and Smith have been playing lights out. I mean, their speed, agility.
Smith's the big girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's the moose, but
Yeah.
she'd be killing it,
She was good in that Netherlands game. She was beasting people.
Yeah. But different team than playing Vietnam. Like, you play the Netherlands, they'll be big. We're playing Sweden, I think, on the first game in the knockout round, who's going to be another big, physical, Nordic type of... The women are big, I'm not going to lie. Yeah,
They're going to have girls in Viking helmets out there
huge.
just trucking people.
Yeah, they're all like Helga and whoever else their names are, like big, brolic women out there with tree trunks for thighs, which is great for the sport, I'm just saying. But, it'll be a tall task to ask. But I think they'll be okay, I hope. I just hope the game's not at 3 a.m. because I'm trying to watch this one. Like, that would be ass.
Yeah, that wasn't ideal. But,
yeah, it's all in fucking Australia, New Zealand, so.
But it's way better. I mean, in my mind,
zone.
at least with the women's team, it's a lot better soccer to watch than the men's team of late. The men's team might be on the up and up.
Butt, dude.
Yeah.
Right?
They've taken a little step forward, but yeah, I mean.
But it's just nice to see that, like, the women's team is the one that's, like, the dominant premier sport to watch. It's not like, oh, what's it now? Like, they're awesome. They're rock stars. Like, you want them to win. It feels better when they win. I hope they can pull it together. But, yeah, they definitely had a sloppy start, which we haven't seen in, 8 years.
Yeah.
More than that, whatever have you. But, yeah.
Yeah, I guess that was one of the things unrelated to soccer, but related to women's sports. And also, we made it most of the episode without talking about the damn Sixers, which has been nice. But, on Sunday when I was all laid up thinking I tore my ACL, I put on a WNBA game, dude. It was New York Liberty, I think, against the Los Angeles team, whoever the Lakers are of the WNBA. It was a fun game to watch, right?
Okay.
Like, dude, it's so wild to me that, like, these women are so underpaid compared to, like, the men in the NBA. Some of these girls can ball, like, shooting, like, threes from 30 feet and just, like, hooping, like, not taking any shit. The thing I like the most, no drama. We watch an NBA game. You see James Harden flopping for no reason, waving his arms. You see Draymond Green setting moving screens all the time. You see just this coaches screaming at each other, players screaming at each other.
Mm-hmm.
The women didn't have none of that. They're just there to hoop, just there to ball. And, like, they're so much better fundamentally.
Yeah.
I saw more bounce passes in that game than I've seen in the NBA in 5 NBA games. Like, they play with way more pace than the Sixers. Philly needs a WNBA team, dude.
Yeah, well, it makes sense, especially if I feel like the Sixers, like, if they're trying to build that new arena, they should. I feel like part of the pitch should be, we're going to do everything we can to bring a WNBA team here, because then that kind of alleviates one of the concerns that, like, what are you going to do with this place during the summer?
Right.
Then it makes sense, but I don't know. It'd be cool. I would go to games.
I think you're seeing.
I don't really watch WNBA because Philly doesn't have a team, and I'm like, I don't want to, like, get attached to some other team, and then a few years down the road, Philly gets a team, and then I gotta, like, I don't want to have that conflict.
I think shout out to like the NCAA women's tournament now, where, like,
that was great this year.
Before the WNBA used to be pretty, bad. I'm not gonna lie, it's a lot of just layups and just boring basketball.
Now they chuck threes from, like, 30 feet now. I was like, damn.
Kudos to the girls coming out of college and stuff like that are kind of making their name for themselves and really stepping up, just elevating everybody's play, which is great to see. Like, that last finals was amazing to watch, with LSU and I forget the other school that was playing that, but
in Iowa.
Yeah. I mean, phenomenal game. And you had ballers on both sides shooting threes, so it's good to see that it's coming into the WNBA as well, which is, exciting.
Yeah.
This makes it more fun to watch. It's tough when you watch a game with just constantly just layups and little things, but
Or when you watch a game and everyone's just screaming at the ref the whole time,
Well,
like
and that too.
the Sixers.
Yeah.
Man, I had so much more fun watching some random WNBA game than I had watching Game 6 or Game 7 of the Sixers against the Celtics series. Just like, wow, man, what a stark contrast. But, yeah, I mean, that's just me getting on my women's sports soapbox. Like we're saying, the women's soccer team's more fun to watch. WNBA games right now are more fun to watch than my most recent memories, anyway. Of
that
the
makes
Sixers
sense.
game.
That's a fair point.
But yeah, we don't need to talk about the Sixers any more than that. I have no desire to. It's been great not talking about that shit show.
So next game we got USA versus what? Netherlands coming up. I think it's next Tuesday.
Oh, we got to play that bratty girl again?
No,
you remember that girl?
That was not Netherlands, Sweden. I mean, Sweden.
Right,
Sweden.
okay.
Not that bitch. No, but they.
Yeah, that girl was a brat.
That was.
Dude.
I will say though, we have the record now. I think we owned it before, but I think 22 or 25 straight World Cup matches without giving up a point or whatever. It's like we've either drawn or won 22, which is like a record. Which is, I mean, the team is,
losses.
They've been on a dynasty run, so it'd be sad to see it end. But I think they got some fight left in them.
You guys heard this shit about Obama's chef?
Yeah, we were talking about this over the weekend.
Yeah. Well, it really happened like a week. We could have talked about it last week if we were talking about aliens, which maybe the alien thing was to distract from the Obama chef thing. If I'm putting my tinfoil hat on here for a second. But have you seen, there's all these, crazy conspiracy theories about it and stuff, which have all been kind of first people were saying that he drowned in 4 feet of water, and it was no, it was 8 feet. It was definitely deep enough to drown.
4 feet still deep enough to drown.
Yeah, I mean, you'd have to try hard.
Yeah.
Well, paddle boarding, you hit your head on a rock. I mean,
Yeah, I guess if you were incapacitated, you were but. And then there was this rumor going around that this chef was working on a tell-all book about the Obamas.
Oh.
Which, who knows? Apparently that's bullshit too, but I mean, I don't know who you're going to believe, you know what I'm saying?
Tell all. My man only knew them he was a sous chef when they were in the White House. What else does he know?
Well, no, but he was also their personal chef at their place in Martha's Vineyard, I believe. That's where this happened.
But he got this is why I can't be going down these wormholes like this shit. He first met the Obamas as a sous in the White House. It wasn't even the head chef there.
He was making their beer.
He ended up being fond of the Obamas.
Oh.
I don't know why. They were cool. They got close. They ended up elevating his status and shit like that. It was his thing. I mean, what a great gig. I feel bad. A beautiful man going down like that is very unfortunate.
He was young, right?
Real young.
He was 44, I think, or something. Mid-40s,
young, very fit, good-looking dude.
Here's the thing, dude. 8 years earlier, one of the Clinton's chefs died in a drowning accident. Do you know about that?
Also Martha's Vineyard, because they got a house up there.
No,
too.
this was in New Mexico, I believe.
Oh,
it was.
okay.
He was the Clinton's chef, and then he also kept the job into the Bush's first term. So it's hard to say whether the Clintons or the Bushes killed him.
I don't see the Bushes caring about anything really.
I think the Clintons are probably don't be helping them. We're coming for your ass, dude.
So
GW.
I also saw one of these right-wing conspiracy guys or whatever. There was this photo going around of Obama from a few days ago or whatever after the guy died, of him. I think he was on a golf course or something, and a couple of his fingers are all bandaged up.
Oh,
and they're like,
snap.
oh, wonder how he got those. Wonder, this is a crazy coincidence.
No.
That Obama's hands are bandaged up after this guy dies. And I just love the idea that, I mean, look, I definitely would not put it past a president to have someone killed for some reason. I'm sure that's happened plenty of times in history.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's going to do it personally.
Yeah, a chef?
What? And the chef was husky as shit. Obama's not for nothing. Not like...
Well, Obama didn't kill himself.
I'm just saying, though, if that's what the conspiracy is going down the trail of...
Obama just...
The chef
just
in the middle of the night, just snuck into his room.
Yeah,
just grabbed his ass and threw him overboard.
Just didn't want to hire anyone to do it or anything.
They were like, "I told you, I didn't like fettuccine Alfredo. What the fuck?"
If you want to get something done right, sometimes you got to do it yourself. I love killing people.
It does fuck with drones, but yeah, I don't know.
Do you think it was the Obama birthers that were involved somehow?
Hell yeah.
I don't know. I think this guy just...
I mean, they're running the conspiracy shit for sure.
Yeah, they're definitely behind this in some regard.
The comments, when that first came out, reading through the comments, I was like,
they're probably like, oh, he knows Obama wasn't born in America.
Right. Say some
he's
weird
hiding
shit.
something.
That's right. I almost like forgot about that whole thing.
When I saw this happen, I had to look that up.
That was like the OG Obama conspiracy thing, was the birther.
So it's probably the same people
100%.
planted this seed.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's just like half of America now are just crazy conspiracy. Like, it's just that whole thing has expanded pretty wildly.
It's scary. It's honestly scary. It's terrifying.
Yo, I got a conspiracy theory. The people from the submersible grabbed his ass. They brought him down under. Martha's Vineyard's not that far from where they supposedly died, dude.
The Titanic?
Yeah.
Thing?
Like up near Newfoundland to Martha's Vineyard ain't that far.
True, by sub.
Martha's Vineyard's, but that's like Massachusetts, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, maybe they're still alive somewhere.
They
grabbed him, dude.
The submarine
they brought him down to the submersible.
They're chilling in a different
gravity vortex and just sucked him in.
Yeah.
They're all hanging out.
Yeah, they're all hanging out, pissing
Nobody's
and pooping.
fucking.
Same submarine. Just eating each other. Just
Damn.
eating each other's hair and boogies every day.
They say, get your ass in here. Thinking he had some snacks on him. Doesn't have any snacks on him.
It's like, yeah, you're a chef. You can turn this
Chad
hair into a delicacy.
Yeah, turn Chad into a fucking, burrito real quick.
It's like, bro, how am I going to do that on this tiny little submarine? It's like, now that didn't actually happen, but and I don't believe that actually happened. I'm just messing around.
I feel bad for this guy, though. You know what I mean? Now, people are like, wow, fuck his chef stuff. That's about how the Clintons could, scary Clintons could possibly be involved in killing somebody. But, we have actual facts and evidence that someone did other things, and everyone's like, well, maybe he didn't do anything that bad. It's like, this is some fucked up shit right now. I miss the days of Bush where he was just saying, like, let's go get the terrorist. Now watch this drive. It hit a golf ball. He wasn't hiding the fact that he golfed. He was like, yeah, we're going to fix this shit. Now watch this. Fucked up.
So what you're saying is you miss Bush.
No.
All right. Okay.
I miss that style of idiot where, like, it wasn't so maniacal. The guy was literally just a dumbass. You know what I mean? It wasn't like a methodical being behind it.
He didn't have to
there
be
was
the
no,
maniacal guy.
There was no, cult.
Dick Cheney was the maniacal guy.
Dick Cheney was running.
Right.
Exactly.
He was
running
really,
shit.
There was no cult following
master.
of anything. It was just like, all right, this guy's a dumbass. Like, whatever. He just wants to be a painter.
Yo, what's Dick Cheney up to? Maybe he's involved.
He definitely is involved.
He's got to be close to dead, man. He's like
those old people.
He's had like heart transplants and all this shit or something. Like he had like a heart attack like every year for a while.
Those old evil people don't die.
It was just yeah.
I mean, Henry Kissinger's still alive.
People just never die. They never die.
Right? Kissinger's still alive. He just turned 100.
Still kicking. Yeah, he's.
How old's Dick Cheney? I gotta look it up.
The Queen just died. She's like 500 years old.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Dick Cheney is 83.
You're saying 83? You said Dick Cheney?
Because I'm thinking like he must have been like in his 60s.
How old's Bush? Bush gotta be. I'm gonna say
Bush is in his early 70s.
I'm gonna say Dick Cheney is.
What did you say? 83? I'm gonna say 87.
I'm gonna say. You said 83. You said 87.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say 80.
Survey says he is. Come on, scroll through all those political accolades. 82.
Oh, wow. Okay.
He's younger than I thought. I said 83, but
I figured he was probably like well into his 60s by the time he was in the Bush administration, but I guess maybe.
Dude, he's definitely old enough to be pulling some strings behind this.
Big time. He's got that maniacal shit to him.
Or not old enough, young enough. He's definitely capable enough to be pulling some strings. He's up to something, dude. He probably arranged for this guy to be killed. He didn't like him. No one's cooking for the Obamas. I don't like him.
No. But feel bad for the guy. R.I.P. to, good dude.
Yeah,
good
I'll pour one out for him.
Yeah, not on the carpet.
I won't pour beer out on your carpet.
Yeah, not on your...
not on this lovely carpet. But damn.
All right, well... I think that'll just about do it for us here tonight.
Inaugural video pod, yo.
Yeah,
peace.
Hopefully we'll get some clips out of here. I gotta start. I don't know. I have to start dressing a little better.
Yeah.
I gotta be camera ready now. Please Please leave us a 5-star rating and review wherever you get your podcasts. Send us an email at citywidepod@gmail.com. And from all of us here at the Citywide, good morning, good afternoon, good night.
Peace.
See ya.